Hey guys, we are Sean and Christy. This is Long Long Honeymoon. Are you too young to go RV camping? Jeff Nelson says, my wife and I are wrapping up a 3-week RV trip with our boys who are 4 and 1 years old, and we rarely see other families in their 30s or with kids as young as ours. How do we get more young families into RV travel? Because it truly is amazing, as you know. Neither Christy nor I grew up RV camping. So by the time we got into this, I was in my 30s and Christy was in her 20s. We were still skewed to the younger end of the scale, very much.
Very often we were the youngest people in the RV park, for sure. In campgrounds like national parks and state parks, there would be some people younger than us, but they were usually tent camping.
Something that happened to me when I hit my 20s is I became an adult and I started hanging out with other adults, and age didn't matter nearly as much. I think when you are in school, obviously, whether it's high school, college, whatever, you're sort of paying much closer attention to age. But once you become an adult, everybody else is an adult, and suddenly I found myself hanging out with people who were 10, 15, 20 years older. And I was totally comfortable and cool with that because you're just hanging out with fellow adults. I'm at an interesting stage right now. I have friends who are 20 years older than me, and I have friends that are 20 years younger, and we're all adults. We're all hanging out and have a good time if you have a similar wavelength. I think when you go into a campground or an RV destination, you can't immediately judge people by their age one way or another. I mean, they're either fun, cool people you're going to connect with, or they're not. The second point I would make is I think having kids is a big reason people get into RV camping, because RV travel can be just so good for kids.
We tend to see more families with younger kids in destinations that are closer to big cities. So it's like a weekend getaway for them. So like a state park that's maybe an hour, 2 hours from a big city. Close to the beach, we see a lot of families with young kids. And of course, at Fort Wilderness and Disney World, it's all families with young kids for the most part. We don't tend to see a lot of families with young kids in a lot of the national parks we visit, like Yellowstone or Grand Teton National Park or Yosemite. And again, I think that's maybe just because it's so hard to get to. A lot of families don't have the time at that point in their life to take a 3 or 4 week trip to get to those places.
I remember one campground we went to in Wisconsin. Actually, It was Yogi Bear themed, and they had a big sort of water park on the property. And every weekend, families came into that campground, and they used it almost like a resort.
Right. And it was about an hour and a half north of Chicago, so I think they got a lot of people from that whole area that was their weekend getaway with their camper and their kids. And that campground really catered to families. They had the water park, they had Yogi Bear that would come out and get your picture made with him. They even had a later checkout on Sunday afternoon so that families could enjoy the water park there during the day and then check out in the afternoon to head home.
What's the issue here?
Well, there's a large moose behind me. Trying not to disturb. Sorry, Lucy.
It's hiding in the grass.
You know, when we were kids, we used to go outside and play. Shocking to think about, but we actually went outside in the summer and played. Like when we got out of school, what I really look forward to, every day I would be outside playing in the afternoon and really until dark, until your mother called you back inside.
For dinner.
I mean, these days kids are looking at an iPad or a phone, or they're playing video games. They don't seem to get outside and appreciate nature as much as we did. I mean, we used to go to the woods and play.
It seems like now a lot of kids too, their outdoor activities that they do are very scheduled. So it's, a team sport or some sort of camp that they're at where planned activities are going on. It's not really just go explore. Camping is a good chance for kids to sort of just get out there and explore part of nature that maybe they would otherwise miss.
So that's the first reason I think to take your kids RV camping. The second would be family bonding in a really unique environment, because RV travel is just different from other forms of travel. Obviously, you're going to be in a more close-knit environment, and I think being together with your family, especially during the formative years, your kids growing up, could be just a great experience for them. It's going to create great family memories, and it's going to be something that maybe provides some extra glue to help the family stick together in the future. And you might instill in them not only a love of the outdoors, but a love of travel and camping and adventure in that way. And then they would have that base of knowledge so that when they get older, if they want to jump into it and do it, they will know what they're getting into, basically.
Yeah, we sort of just jumped in blindly and sort of learned as we went. When we would talk to friends that were our same age, I think a lot of them just didn't think of RVing as something to do at a younger age. Like they thought of it like, oh, I'll get an RV when I retire, when I get older. I don't think a lot of RV manufacturers were really marketing to younger people. And now I think they are the target market for most RV companies. You do see more younger people that are doing this more and more frequently. They're starting to see it as a vacation home that is affordable. You know, there aren't many places where you could go where you could buy a $30,000 vacation home, but you can buy a really nice travel trailer for $30,000 and take it anywhere you want to go.
If you believe the news and the hype, I mean, millennials are really embracing RV camping and RV travel. So it's actually a very hot category amongst younger people.
So I feel like now there are some campgrounds we go to where there are a lot of people that are in their 30s that are RV camping. It just sort of depends on where you go. But I do see that if you have younger kids, you want other younger kids for your kids to play with or to hang out with when you're at a campground. So I totally see the appeal of looking for destinations where you're going to find that.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
Someone on our Facebook page made a funny comment, and he said, I'm going to let my descendants worry about depreciation. In other words, he was going to go out and buy whatever he wanted, not worry about the depreciation. But I think you don't have to have a huge rig to get out and enjoy yourself. In fact, we have friends who are in their 20s who have like teardrop campers. Also, those smaller travel trailers like called the Scamp, you may have seen those. Those are very popular.
The Casita.
The Casita, they're very easy to tow.
Yeah, you don't have to have some big truck to tow it with. It's basically like a hard-sided tent, you know, that you can sort of pull around with whatever vehicle you've got, go to state parks, national parks, whatever, and have a comfy bed to sleep in.
And some of the teardrops have little kitchenettes built into the back, so you can do some basic cooking. It would have been great. If I'd been in my 20s and had one of those, I would have thought I was really totally set, because I just did tent camping. And having been doing this for a while, we have seen the gamut. I mean, we have seen people with several young kids going full-time in a camper van. It can be done if you're willing to do it.
Ultimately, are you too young to RV? I think the answer is no. I think RVing is for all ages. I think there are destinations that appeal to all ages, and I think that there are campers and trailers and motorhomes, whatever, Class B vans that appeal to all ages. So as long as you're somebody that's interested in getting out there and seeing things, there's a way for you to do it. It's just figuring out what works for your budget and what destinations make the most sense for your schedule.
Look at places maybe in your immediate region or vicinity where you would like to visit.
Yeah, you don't have to go across the country to have a great time. Sometimes there are great places that are like literally an hour and a half from your house that you would normally overlook when you're looking for a vacation destination. But with an RV, it can make it a real adventure.
One of the biggest surprises to me when we got our RV, when we took it out to a local park, which is actually a state park, and it's a beautiful campground, and it's really not that far from our home, but it felt like we were in just a totally different part of the world for some reason. I mean, because we're having a completely different, unique experience in the RV. It was just a really interesting little adventure, and we hadn't even really left our area.
Yeah, we were still in the same county that we live in. We were just, you know, on the other side of the county from where we live, so, but it felt completely different.
So, all right, guys, thank you, Jeff, for the great question. If you guys have any experience on this topic that you'd like to share with our community, please post a comment beneath this video. We'd like to hear what you think. Did you grow up RV camping? Did you take your kids out RV camping?
Yeah, did you have a good experience RVing at a younger age, or is it something that you think people need to wait and do later? Or are you somebody that started later and you wished you had started earlier?
Until next time, I'm Sean.
I'm Christy, this is Baby Girl.
The Chihuahua.
How you doing?
She's been so good.
If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family so they can join us here at Long Long Honeymoon. If you haven't yet, please click that little subscribe button down below and the bell icon next to it if you want to get notifications every time a new video goes live. Lo-lo-ho.
So, what you got in yours?
In my Hoa pocket,
Yep.
I have hamburger meat, a little bit of potato, some onions, some bacon, some garlic, some Montreal steak seasoning, and some olive oil. Yum.
Yeah.
Do you want that?